Smartphones have settled into their candy bar form factor, kind of like how we've settled into a format for our unboxing scripts. Now with the Wing, LG has taken the rulebook and thrown it right out of the window. It doesn't fold, it doesn't flip, it swivels. A first-of-a-kind phone deserves a first-of-a-kind unboxing, right? So here we go. Never judge a book by its cover, and I guess a phone by its box. Because for what this box contains, it looks very simple. We just have the Wing text on top and small little 5G at the bottom. In fact, the rest of the box is pretty plain too. Now the sticker to the bottom gives us a MSRP of 80,000 rupees. The MSRP stickers are usually higher than the actual pricing, and the actual pricing here being 70,000. The source, LG India's website. Okay, let's now open up the box, and here's the Wing, wrapped in protective plastic, which let's peel off. And now the sticker to the back. This one has a very reflective finish, and note that the back does curve at the edges. By the way, this here is glass. Of course, at 70,000 rupees, what else do you expect? Or that is what I would have thunk if a certain phone didn't break the perception earlier this year. Now, this curved glass back, LG is calling it the Illusion Sky. We'll see more of that and the LG Wing in just a bit. Other box contents include some of the regular literature inside this cardboard insert, each in its own plastic bag, and there's the SIM ejector pin. Hey, LG's even included screen protectors for both screens, which is awfully nice. And then we've got this thin shell case, which is followed by a 16-watt charger. Yeah, it's kind of low on the wattage front with regards to modern flagships, but the modern flagship, it actually ships without a charger in the box. So who am I to complain? Jokes apart, we then have a USB Type-C cable and finally a Type-C to 3.5mm adapter. LG has been one of the last brands to cling on to the headphone jack, but with this radical redesign of the Wing, I guess there just wasn't enough space. But I guess there's always more space for you guys in the C4E family. So if you haven't yet, get subscribed and turn on notifications. Cheesy as this might be. Go on, subscribe. So why are LG trying to reinvent the wheel here? I mean, what's wrong with the oh-so-common glass sandwich slab? Well, first off, as I mentioned just now, it is the oh-so-common part. Like, how many times have you guys heard me say over the last few years, glass sandwich design held together by a metal frame? Okay, now to be fair, the materials here, it's still glass, curved glass to the back, and there is metal as well. It fits nicely in hand, even a curved screen up front. At first glance, the LG Wing, it looks quite ordinary. Premium, but also ordinary. But pick it up, give it a nudge, and that's where the true nature of this beast is revealed. Now, there is a reason why the Wing can switch between form factors. The regular old bar is good at a lot of things like typing text, taking selfies, and yeah, we have a 32-megapixel pop-up camera here for that. And even for traditional photography and videography, after all, 2 or 3 cameras to the back can only be used in this candy bar form factor. Anyway, we'll come back to all that later on. First, let me show you guys what the swivel screen can do and why LG has decided to go with it. The focus here was mainly on multitasking. Now, we've seen LG tackle that before with a second screen, but here LG is trying something completely different. First, we have a set of apps, and yes, this is user customizable. We can choose an app pair and clicking on them launches them on both screens. Like here, we can go with Chrome on the big screen and YouTube on the smaller screen. Other than that, some apps have been specially programmed to take advantage of the second screen. Like you can show the map while playing Asphalt or video controls for the YouTube app. Basically, the software on the LG Wing opens up an entirely new avenue to multitask. How useful are they with day-to-day use? Now that's something I can only tell you after we've spent a lot more time with the Wing. So stay tuned for the full review. We'll have a complete breakdown by then. Okay, so I've been talking about dual screens for a while now, but I haven't really talked about the panels themselves, right? So let's change that. The big one up front, it's a 6.8-inch Full HD Plus POLED panel. It's got all the bells and whistles with Corning's Gorilla Glass for protection, curved sides that screen premium, and the amazing color and contrast levels that we've come to expect from OLED panels. On top of that, there are no notches or punch holes. So you get 6.8 inches of uninterrupted screen real estate. And if that's not enough, swivel it away to reveal the second panel. This is a 3.9-inch square display. Again OLED, again Full HD Plus, so it's not like LG is cheaped out here. My only complaint, I wish LG had gone with a higher refresh rate panel. Now having two displays stacked one on top of the other does mean we end up with a phone that's nearly 11mm thick. Couple that with a 6.8-inch screen up front, the LG wing is as tall as it is thick, making it almost impossible to use single-handed. Even if there is a way to flick out that second screen, something like this, closing it needs two hands or some serious finger gymnastics. By the way guys, this mechanism, it only goes one way. So pushes out like this and then it stops and then we can retract it again. And gotta love the attention to detail that LG has put in here. Like this textured metal back to the main display, it's not something we'd notice a lot or honestly at all, but LG's done it nonetheless. And there are some other clever innovations here that have been put in place so that we can have a swivel screen. For example, this is the actual slot for the on-call speaker, but the main screen has this tiny slit up front and the space for it to the back. So now we can take calls even when the display is closed. And of course, all this movement meant we couldn't really go for a notch or punch hole for the selfie camera. Instead, we have that motorized selfie shooter. Initial impressions, it does seem to take some really good looking selfies. But the real showstopper when it comes to optics, it's gotta be that 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now it's supposed to have a 120-degree wide field of view, but that's not what we actually get when we look at what's on screen. Instead, we have a cropped in view with the ability to pan and tilt using a software joystick on the smaller screen. Now, the camera itself is rotated on its axis so that we can take landscape videos even when the phone is held like this. It's not really new, we've seen other brands do this before, but here the added stability and gimbal functionality, that's kind of taken this implementation to a whole new level. You can set the focus on a subject and have the phone track it. This results in much more stable footage where the phone manages to, always keep the subject in frame. If you know there is not going to be much vertical movement in a shot, you can use pan follow mode. And this helps take some amazingly smooth pans right from the phone. You can even get a first-person view mode that allows you to move the camera to mimic the motions of the subject. And finally, there's lock, which, as the name states, locks the camera in so that even if you move the camera angle, it stays pretty much the same. Additionally, you can even disable the touch on the second screen and use it to get a firmer grip on the smartphone. I think this might actually turn out to be quite useful in certain cases. Now, other than that, you can use the front and back cameras at the same time to record video. Again, we've seen this from other brands, but the implementation here is pretty neat. Okay, it's now time to focus on the other two cameras. They are flagship level 2. The primary is a 64 megapixel sensor. It's got a fast f1.8 lens and there is OIS on board. The other one, it's a 13 megapixel ultra wide, but this one's the standard ultra wide. No cropped in software wizardry here, so you do get the full 117-degree field of view. When you have a phone with a lot of moving parts like the LG wing, durability is always a concern. Pick it up for the first time though, I'm sure you'll notice the entire device feeling super solid. No creaks, no squeaks, even the sliding mechanism is super smooth. LG claims that the hinge inside the wing has been tested over 200,000 times. Well, we did a little testing ourselves, flicking it around, kind of like a fidget toy. And the takeaway, there is a satisfying click every time we snap the display shut. So, kudos on the belt, LG. Now, most flagships these days, they do come with an IP67 or IP68 rating, but with the wing, it's IP54. Not bad considering we have a swivel screen and a motorized camera. And like other LG flagships, even the wing is military standard 810G certified. Under the hood, we've got the Snapdragon 765G running the show. It's a surprising decision from LG to go with this premium mid-range chip on a phone that's flagship in a lot of other ways. The 765G does seem to do pretty well for itself. It should have no trouble pushing 1080p 60Hz with LG's UI. I'd expect everything to remain being lag-free. Still, for a phone this expensive, I would have definitely liked to see the 865 Plus or at least the 865 being used. As far as memory goes, there's 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of onboard storage, expandable via the hybrid slot. That's right here on the left edge. The top contains the selfie camera and a secondary mic. The right has all the buttons, volume up and down as well as power. They're raised just a little bit so that they're easy to find even with the phone in your pocket. And finally, there's the primary mic, USB Type-C port and a single loudspeaker to the bottom. Talking about audio, we do get LG's 3D sound engine, but unlike say the G8X or the Velvet, the focus here is not on the sound. Instead, it's on the swivel display. As for the rest of the software experience, it's pretty much what we've come to expect from LG. There are the usual suspects like the dark mode, always on display. LG's knock-on has always been a fan favorite, and I'm happy to see that return too. As for the fingerprint sensor, it's embedded in the OLED panel and it works just as we'd expect. Keeping the lights on is a 4000 mAh unit, and it's got its work cut out for it thanks to the dual screens right here on the LG wing. As far as charging goes, we have support for Quick Charge 4.0, no wireless charging. So overall, the LG wing seems like a very interesting device. LG's come out with a totally unique form factor in the wing, and they've thrown in some software features that seem poised to take advantage of this form factor. How well do they work? Is this uniqueness worth the asking price? I'll have more to say in my full review. For now, you guys tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If you do want to grab one of these for yourself, well, the wing should be available for sale via both Amazon as well as Flipkart with some bank and card offers. So I guess that's pretty much it for this unboxing. It is time for me to bid you adieu. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about the unboxing. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.